Hey everyone, Chris here from Real Rideshare Stories. If you're new to the channel and you're looking for different things within the rideshare industry, whether it's news, tips and tricks for passenger and drivers, or what actually happens on real rideshare rides, start now by hitting that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Also make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips. So today I'm going to be talking to you about a lot of the questions that I've been receiving the last few days regarding what's going on with the CARES Act, what's going on with unemployment for gig workers, and some of the questions that are going through with that. So I'm going to answer those. Hopefully that will help answer your questions, at least in a general sense. On a more specific sense, I will have to defer you to go to careeronestop.org, which I'll leave a link in the description below, and your state's unemployment website when it comes to specific questions on information that you may have regarding certain things. But other than that, in a general sense, I am going to answer the questions. So hopefully that will also answer some of the questions that you may have on a more general sense, where you can kind of figure out a little bit more specifically. Also, I did write this one out, so if you see my eyes reading from the computer screen in front of me, that is the reason why, because there is a lot of information, so I want to make sure that the information I give along is the accurate and correct way, so just so you know for that, because most of the videos, actually all the videos that I do aren't scripted, but today this one is. So like I said, if you see my eyes reading, that's the reason why. Now this is part one to questions that I've been getting from you over the last few days. As I get more questions, I will do another update video on those questions and any more new information that's coming out, whether it be Lyft and Uber changes, gig changes, anything to do with the CARES Act, how unemployment is working for gig workers and independent contractors, as well as self-employed, and how its expanded benefits are going to be covering these whole groups of people now. I will make sure to update that. So make sure you do ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified when those update videos do come around. So now this information is subject to change. It may not be fully accurate. A lot of this is based on media websites that I found, like CNN, CNBC, and MSNBC, all those websites, and they're all saying pretty much the same information. So it's going to probably be pretty accurate, although certain aspects of it may be changing. And again, I will update you with any other changes from what I have seen or had said in previous videos. So at least the biggest question is answered, and that is, will unemployment be extended to self-employed, independent contractors, freelancers, gig workers? And we know that answer is yes. The stimulus package was passed by both the Senate and the House and signed by President Trump yesterday afternoon. So yes, it is now effective. It's a $2.2 trillion stimulus bill that will extend coverage for unemployment benefits to these groups of people. So if you are a gig worker, if you're an independent contractor, if you're self-employed, if you are a freelancer, these benefits will come to you if you need to claim them. The program that the government has set up is going to be called the Temporary Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, and it should be abbreviated as PUA. So if you are on your state's website for unemployment and you see PUA or Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program or anything like that, that is the program that is set up to expand unemployment benefits to cover, again, independent contractors, self-employed, freelancers, and gig workers. So this is what the CARE Act had expanded, and being that this has never been done before, we don't know what it's going to look like fully and exactly yet. Like I said, I'm continuing to read new articles as they're coming out so I can relay that information to you, but I don't know what it looks like either, as I didn't draft that legislation in any way, shape, or form. So as any new updates, like I said, come out, I will continue updating you to help answer those unknown questions. Since this was signed and enacted yesterday, which was Friday afternoon, a lot of updates are going to be coming, but unfortunately over the weekend, it may not be updated. So it may take a few days or even a couple of weeks for states to update their websites and give us a better picture of what things are going to be looking like. For the websites that you should check, careeronestops.org is a great national-based website which works with the Department of Labor, and it has a lot of different resources for employment, as well as talking about what's going on with unemployment and several updates with what's going on in today's arena when it comes down to this new stimulus package, how things are set up, and it also has direct links to each state's website and each territory's website. So that's a great resource site to start off with. I will leave a link in the description below so you can go and check that out and pay attention to that website as well as your state website if you plan on claiming unemployment through this new pandemic unemployment assistance program. All right, now let's answer a few questions that I've been getting over the last couple days. The first question is, can I apply for unemployment? The answer is yes, but you may have to wait in order to apply until your state gets their systems updated for the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program to cater to self-employed, independent contractors, freelancers, and gig workers. You may be able to apply now if you lost your W-2 job through being laid off or furloughed. But if you are self-employed, freelancer, independent contractor, or gig worker only and file a 1099 for your taxes, you will have to wait until you apply to your state once they've updated their information. I do not know when that will be updated, as many states are already highly strained with new unemployment claims. So please give it a little bit of time and continue to check careeronestop.org, your state's unemployment website, and this channel, as I will continue to make updates. The second one I've been getting asked a lot is, do I qualify? And you might be giving a little bit of your background. The short answer is, I don't know. I don't know where or how your income is set up. And I've never worked for unemployment offices or been trained in that. So the short answer is, or the specific one is, I don't really know, but I can help guide you in a general sense if you can qualify or not. And it's going to fall into a few different categories, which nearly everybody should be falling into one of these categories. And so you can at least kind of get a better sense if you'll qualify or not when it comes down to it. So the first category is what most Uber, Lyft, and gig workers do fall into, and that is if you have a W-2 job and you are either part-time or full-time, and then you work Uber, Lyft, or another gig on top of that. Then it will be based on your W-2 job only. If you are laid off, furloughed from that job, you can qualify for normal unemployment benefits already, and you don't have to wait until the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program is set up because it will be based off of your W-2 job instead. If you are still working your part-time or full-time job, you do not qualify for unemployment benefits. So if you still are working either from home, if you're working an essential job, if you haven't been laid off or furloughed, you still will be working and you cannot claim unemployment benefits. If you need to make up that money because you're missing out because Uber and Lyft are very slow, you can look at other gigs like DoorDash, UberEATS, Postmates, Amazon Flex, Shipt, Instacart, and other gig work as well. Those deliveries, those shopping apps are actually going through the roof right now, and a lot of people are requesting deliveries and people to shop for them. So if you do need to transition to going from Uber and Lyft, then you can transition into delivery either through food delivery, package delivery, or go shopping for somebody. And hopefully that will help offset the income that is lost from Uber and Lyft itself drying up in several markets. The next category is if you are self-employed and also do Uber, Lyft, or another gig. So if you had to stop working both due to the government shutting you down as a self-employed person or business owner, and you're not working because of the pandemic, then you may qualify for the expanded unemployment benefits through the CARES Act. Please continue to check careeronestop.org and your state's unemployment website for information on when you may be able to apply. Make sure to have all your information, including your 2018 and 2019 taxes, to show your income and how it's earned. And I don't know what else you may need, and some states may differ on what's needed to show your information as well. So just make sure you do have as much information as you can, but continue to watch for that temporary pandemic unemployment assistance program, because that will be your way in order to get income from unemployment during this time if you've been laid off. And the third category is what the remaining people should be falling into if you haven't fallen into the other two categories, and that is if you do Uber, Lyft, or another gig or other gigs full-time. Then that means the same would still apply to you, and you may qualify under this temporary pandemic unemployment assistance program if you are unable to work due to the pandemic. You may begin to apply in states where they have already expanded benefits to gig workers if available. Some states have changed their policies already, so you may be able to apply at that point. Check your state's local unemployment website, as well as any updates that they have during this pandemic. In California, you can fill out paperwork saying that you were misclassified with the new AB 5 law that took effect on January 1st, 2020. So you can fill out a paper. Rideshare Professor showed you how to fill it out and took you through all the questions. So if you want to do that, you can go check out his video and have that fill out. He just made that video a few days ago, so it should be right there in the beginning of his page. And then you can claim as normal in California. Other states, you may have to wait to apply until its updated information is available on its websites and within the office itself, so then they can fill out the proper information, because again, this is a brand new way to protect people who normally haven't fallen under these unemployment protections before. What will I receive for unemployment is pretty much the next question that I've been seeing a lot as well too. And that is, it will depend on what category you are in, as I just had discussed. If you are getting unemployment from your W-2, it will be whatever the state gives you plus $600 per week from the federal government for up to 4 weeks, or whenever that federal fund dries up. If you are going to apply under the expanded benefits program, being self-employed, freelancer, independent contractor, or gig worker, then it appears to be 50% of the state's average plus $600 per week from the national fund for 4 months, or whenever that fund dries up. So that means that if your state's average is $400, you'll receive 50% of that, which would be $200 plus the $600 from the national government. So that means you would get $800 a week in total for the 4 months, or like I said, the remainder until that fund dries up, if it dries up earlier than that 4 months. Now, if you fall under that expanded benefits program, you will get at least at a minimum of $600 per week, and that is because of the national fund. And most articles that I've been reading have been showing 50% of the state's average plus the $600. So as that information does become more clear, and I see that on states' websites, I can actually verify that or not. But that's what it's looking like, so you do know about what you should be expecting if you do file unemployment under this new protection provision. Another question I've been getting is, can I still drive if I've filed for unemployment? And the answer is absolutely not. You cannot double dip. Especially when it comes to unemployment or getting paid by the government, you cannot double dip. So if you file for unemployment, do not work, turn your apps off, stay home, do not go out. Well, I mean, you can go out and do things, but you can't go out and try to earn an income because if you start creating an income for yourself and you do not report that because you're technically back working, then you may have to pay those benefits back, and there could be penalties and even more severe consequences depending on your state and what they deem. So the short answer is no, do not do it. And the next question that I've been getting is, will I be deactivated from Uber, Lyft, or another gig platform if I claim unemployment? And the answer is, I don't know. I don't know if Uber and Lyft or any other gig platform are going to be doing anything in terms of temporary deactivations when claiming unemployment. I don't know if the state or federal government will be passing any information along to them. I really don't know, but in either way, you don't want to be online and claiming unemployment at the same time. So temporarily deactivate yourself if Uber and Lyft don't do it. Following question is, what about that $1,200 check I keep hearing about? And that is, each American will receive a $1,200 stimulus check who made under $75,000, or if you filed jointly with a spouse and you both made under $150,000, then you will receive $2,400. So it's just essentially double because there's two people versus one. Anything over that $75,000 or $150,000 if you file jointly will taper down up to the threshold of $99,000 single and $198,000 when you file jointly. Anything over that amount, you will not receive a stimulus check, but anything between that amount, it will taper down. So the higher you made, the less amount of money in that check there will be. But for the vast majority of people who made under $75,000 single or $150,000 joint, that check will be either a $1,200 or $2,400 check. And then also it'll be $500 for each child on top of that. Now, if you receive SSI or SSD through Social Security and you did not file your 2018 or 2019 taxes, don't worry, you still are eligible for a check, and that information is going to be passed along from the Social Security Administration for you. So again, if you don't file your taxes because you're on SSI or SSD, you still do qualify for that check. You will need to be current and in good standing on your taxes. They will be determining if you receive a check by your 2018 or 2019 tax returns. Since many people haven't filed their 2019 returns yet, then they will be deferring to the 2018 returns. And again, people on SSD or SSI won't have to worry about it if you didn't file taxes. And also that check will be direct deposited from your return, whichever it was, or sent via check. And I don't know the time frame when those checks will be coming either. And speaking of 2019 taxes, the IRS has changed the due date for tax returns for 2019. It will no longer be April 15th of this year. They have added 90 days to that at least. So if you haven't filed yet, don't worry. You have an extension on that, so you will be okay. And again, for the check, they're either going to use the 2019 numbers if you already did file, or 2018 if you didn't file yet. And lastly, if you are still able to work, there are many places that are hiring, and many places are providing additional hourly rates by $2 or maybe even more. And also some of these jobs are providing sign-on bonuses. So many grocery stores, many drugstores, many small stores that are providing essential services are in need of new hirees. So anybody who has been laid off can go there and work temporarily. So if you want to help within your community, if you want to help get things going as well, or if you just want to be working instead of sitting at home, then check those. Also, many gigs are still experiencing a lot of business, and that is any of the delivery apps, whether it be food delivery, whether it be package delivery, and shopping apps. They are all experiencing high demand. So again, Instacart, Shipt, DoorDash, Postmates, Amazon Flex, other gigs that are in the same are experiencing high demand. So any of those are going to be good to help offset any losses that you may have received from Uber or Lyft, or other potential layoffs. So that is something that I do recommend as well, because if you are able to work, those funds are only designed for a specific amount, and once it's dried up, it's dried up. So some people who do actually need it may not be able to get it. So let's just work as a community together. Like I said, in the event that you can work. Now, if you can't work and have to claim, obviously go and claim. Just make sure you follow within those guidelines that I had said, if you can claim now, or if you may have to wait a little bit to claim later, depending on what your state is doing, how your whole income setup is, and whatnot. And as any more information comes out about the CARES Act, the unemployment assistance program that is set up for gig workers, any changes from Uber, Lyft, or other gigs, any updates from them, or any updates overall, I will make sure to send that information to you as quick as I can. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded for any updates, as well as the normal content that I normally produce. And make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips. Also, if you've been thinking about becoming a Instacart shopper or a DoorDash delivery driver, check the link in the description below for a guaranteed sign-on bonus or bonus depending on what your market may be. And also, if you want to sign up to do UberEATS, make sure you do that as well. And then there's some other information throughout the description as well. And as always, never drink and drive, always tip your drivers, and we'll see you next time.